So there's a lot of talk about this AI, that AI. Should I use Claude? Should I use AI? Should I use Gemini? Which one's better? I took about 5 questions that I had and I put one inside of OpenAI, which is ChatGPT, and I put one inside of Claude. So I personally like the response that I got from Claude. And then I was about to put those same questions inside of Gemini, which is Google's AI. And my wife was like, I heard that Gemini was the worst of the worst, like the bottom of the barrel. And I was like, I don't really think about it that way. It's much more complex than that. When it comes to input and output, yes, Claude and OpenAI, ChatGPT, they typically do the best. MySpace was the best social media platform at one time. There was platforms like Tagged and Bebo. These are all the best at the time. But that doesn't mean that they're going to remain the best. There are real problems around AI, and more specifically the monetization of AI. If you look at companies like Claude and OpenAI, they make their money strictly from AI. But when you look at companies like Facebook and Google, they already have monetization figured out. So this whole AI stuff is not life or death for them. It's more of an experiment for them. They have this unique advantage that OpenAI and Claude do not have. And you can't count Facebook out. Facebook acquired a company called Manus. You probably heard of Manus. So I don't think you can count Facebook out of this at all, because Facebook is really good at acquisitions. They didn't create WhatsApp and they didn't create Instagram. Instagram is one of the biggest platforms today, and Facebook acquired that company, and they acquired Manus also. You also have to look at how much money they have to be able to experiment and to play around with things. I also saw that Facebook is shutting down their whole metaverse idea that they had. They put $80 billion into an experiment, and they were able to just shut that down. So yeah, Claude is good now and ChatGPT is good now, but they're not profitable companies right now. They're still raising money. Facebook does not have to raise money. Google does not have to raise money. So that's why I would say take these things into consideration and don't too deeply integrate everything in your life with a specific platform, because that platform could be gone tomorrow. What happens if Claude needs to 10x their API costs? Then what? Everything that's deeply ingrained into running your business immediately became 10 times more expensive. So these things are very tricky and very nuanced. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Move slow on the whole AI stuff. It is very valuable. I'm sure you've received a ton of value from AI, but just be a little cautious because a lot of it's still driven by hype.